a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over. For the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory, for the yeah, we've waited for our time to come, calculated everything we've done, we've upgraded. Now you can't outrun a champion. Now you're facing what? Can you hear them? Yeah, it's all for us. You believe them? Yeah, it's serious. Hear the siren. We're victorious. I'm telling you. Can I get a hell yeah? Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory. You're the chaser, I'm the eraser. I ruin your record, I'll back it, I'll break ya. I cut like a razor, so call the trophy engraver. I'm gonna get it, wait till I win it. God, I'm so glad to be in it. Can't wait to say that we did it. This is my life and I live it. Ready to give it my all when you fall back. Taking advantage of all that. Demons on average are so bad. Playing short and your team scratch. Time to assess all the damages. I knew that you couldn't handle this. It takes a man to stand up to the king, and unfortunately you abandoned it. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. How are we all doing on this fine Monday evening? We are back with the GT45 Gaming Prototype Challenge, and it's round number 3, ladies and gentlemen, 3 of 10, and we're at Watkins Glen International Raceway. So, let's talk about Watkins Glen International Raceway. It's a doozy of a racetrack to start with. I'm just bringing up my cheat sheet here. I always forget to bring up my cheat sheet ahead of time. Hope everybody's doing well. We are going to be having a 50-minute endurance race here tonight, and the racing medium and racing soft tires are going to be required here by our competitors today. This is presented by Ten Tenths Simracing, and I am your host for the evening in GT45 Gaming. Family-friendly broadcast, so the whole family can enjoy the fun here tonight at Watkins Glen International Raceway. All right, so I as soon as I can read the details, I'll get them out to everybody here, so you don't have to read them for yourself. Welcome in. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's work week started well. Hope everybody got hyped up after the music. Computer's running a little slow here. Bear with it. All right, our length here today of our racetrack is a 3.37 mile racetrack, or 5.42 kilometers. It has 15 left and right hand corners. It's a tarmac road surface. It's a real world circuit and has an elevation change of 115 feet from its highest point to its lowest point. Lots of fun information there, of course, with our racetrack. But let's go talk about a lap around Watkins Glen International Raceway. So again, courtesy of Lucas369 here, he's going to give us a little bit of a run around here through Watkins Glen. So let's jump on with Lucas369 here as he takes us around Watkins Glen International Raceway. So you can see it's very evening style conditions here at this point in time when he is running this lap. And that is much of the conditions we're going to see in the latter part of the race here today, I think. And this is as he's coming up in through the S's here. That leads us into the famous bus stop. It's going to be a very high-speed section of the racetrack, and it's going to be interesting to see if our driver's going to go 2x2 here, but you're going to want to try and clip all 4 apexes here. And that was a nice little clip as he comes through. That takes us down in through the carousel and leads us up into the boot sector here. So now as we head down in, that leads us up in around the hairpin here and takes us into the toe of the boot. So uphill hairpin corner here, very undulating corner. You got to be very careful when you choose to get on your power up the hill there, up through the toe of the boot. That takes us up through the top of the foot, so to speak, and out through the heel of the boot here now. So a sharp 90 plus degree corner there coming out, and that leads us into the chase, the final 4 corners here. A little bit of again 90-degree corner to the left there, and then we're going to have a series of high speed 90-degree corners here, so that you're really just kind of lifting at that point right there, and you're doing much of the same thing, maybe a little bit of trail brake just to get the car to rotate through. And we'll let you jump on board with Lucas for the onboard. Great job there from our top qualifier here this season in the GT45 Prototype Challenge, Lucas369 there, and that was a 129 lap around Watkins Glen here, so we should expect to see about a 1 minute 30 second average here around the racetrack, which should relate to about a 32 to 33 lap race here today for everybody. And again, it's a 50-minute endurance race, 5-0, ladies and gentlemen, 5-0. All right, so as things are kind of happening in behind the scenes here, let's talk about our driver of the day from round number 2 here in the Pro Division. And our GT45 Gaming Driver of the Day award does go to ERA's Ishmael Truth for an absolutely great recovery drive and a last lap battle for the final podium position, falling just short of TTJ set there to the finish line in round number 2. That highlight video is up and available over on the GT45 Gaming YouTube channel. If you missed the race and you want to see all the great moments throughout the race, go check out the highlight video. It's about 14 minutes long. Welcome in, everybody. Congratulations to ERA's Ishmael Truth for the driver of the day for the Pro Division in round number 2. And that bonus point. Oh, that ever so important bonus point. All right, so we are way ahead of schedule here for a change tonight. That's unusual. That's not like us. So welcome in, everybody. Let's catch up with chat. We don't get a chance to chat with chat before the race gets going too often, so let's take advantage of that opportunity here. We've got the like coming in from GT45 Gaming and the share. We've got Cody Bass coming in with that like on the stream. Nolander BFAM coming in with the care and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares. Let's grow, he goes. Appreciate you, my guy. And we got Paul Egon, pardon me, up in the YouTube channel going, let's go TT. So, love to see it. All right, Watkins Glen. Let's talk about this here for a little bit. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We're just sorting out a couple of driver. Okay, we're just sorting out a couple of missing drivers here in the paddock. We got one driver that is sick, so I do apologize. Let's get back to what we're doing here. Watkins Glen International is a mecca of North America road racing. It is a popular venue among families and drivers. Opening in 1956, Watkins Glen International is located in the town of, I believe that says Dix. Just southwest of the village of Watkins Glen in New York. At the southern tip of Seneca Lake, it was long known around the world as the home of the Formula One United States Grand Prix, which it hosted for 20 consecutive years from 1961 to 1980. In addition, the Glen has also been home to road racing of nearly every class, including the World Sports Car Championship, Trans Am, Can-Am, NASCAR Cup Series, the IMSA, and IndyCar competitions as well. So again, just another couple of little fun facts here about our racetrack, and there we go. Everybody can kind of see what I can see going on here. Let's grow. Hashtag Team Rad. Appreciate you. What is up, TDC Gaming? We got Ishmael up in the house. So we are just missing 2. How you looking, Ghosty? He's probably sent me a Facebook message, and I don't get pinged for him for some reason. So let's go check. Let's go check right now. Just like to make sure that we are aware and we're not doing our due diligence to make sure we're checking all our sources of how we communicate with our racers. Then, I don't know what these two are thinking. We do mind. This is an official league race, my guy. You can join us over on Sim League Pro and go through the registration process and the qualifying process, and then you are more than welcome to come in and join every Monday night in the LMP1 cars. But until then, I'm sorry, my guys. This lobby is only for registered drivers. Hey, what's going on, Tom? Egon, let's go TT. Alright, so I just got to make sure that I haven't missed any chit chatter here. Alright, so we're missing 2. Not bad. Not bad. 2 of our drivers missing here this evening, and hey, you know, real life is real life. We have Jakey that's going to be out of our lineup here tonight. He is unfortunately very under the weather here, not feeling very well, and we knew that. We just weren't sure if he was going to attempt it here tonight, but he is going to opt out of our race here this evening, and we do have, again, Ghost Viper here as well in the series, but may still be working, and hey, you know what? That's all right. We told him to join anyways, come and get as many races in as he can, and that's what it's all about. So we're just waiting on one driver here. and then we'll get some qualifying underway. So we are going to see a 5-minute qualifying run, ladies and gentlemen. So basically we're going to get 2, maybe a couple of the drivers will get 3 laps around the Watkins Glen here today. So it's going to be very important to get that lap very quickly in qualifying here today. You don't want to fall behind the 8 ball. You want to try, obviously, and ideally, to get up as far to close to the top of the starting lineup as you can. Obviously, being fastest in qualifying will get you there, and that bonus pole position point, and give you just a better shot at trying to give yourself the early race advantage and try to run away from the pack. But it's been a couple of races in the books here now for the Pro Division, and they have been a couple of spicy races. We had a rain in round number 2 at Nürburgring GP last week for our Pro Division. It made things quite interesting. We will not see rain here at Watkins Glen, however, as there is no rain model in this particular circuit here on Gran Turismo 7, so it will remain as dry conditions here for the racetrack. But with the cooling conditions and the darkening skies as the race progresses, that will add the extra challenge to our racers here tonight. We will most likely see the race finish under dark conditions. I can join on my second. What did he say, Nolander? Did he say he wasn't going to be able to make it? I don't have a message anywhere that I can see anyway. Shout out pros, a lot of familiar faces in this lobby. Give them boys, give them heck boys, give them heck. Alright, so let's get these awesome racers lobby reset. Ooh. Always takes a minute for the keyboard to kick in. Not sure why. You're all good, Pema. You're all good, my dude. Alright, let's get that lobby reset. So this is how we get the race set back to starting conditions, essentially, right? Okay, so it's an evening start, put it to afternoon, hit change settings. If the drivers wait to check in, we do it again. We'll see. Sometimes they get a little bit antsy and they check in a little early, but that's alright. We're pretty efficient at this. There we go. Lobby reset times 2. Let's give them a 2-minute warning. Not a 32-minute warning. Alright, so we had a little bit of confusion last week with our tire mandate. It created a bigger confusion for the behind-the-scenes staff last week. And so I released improper details for our tire mandate based off of a different series last week. Caused a little bit of complications. So I'm going to reiterate what the proper tire mandate for the GT45 prototype challenge is. This comes from our setup designers, of course, the admin staff and the stewarding officials, to make sure we get it right. So it is a 3-lap mandate for the tires here. So that means the racing medium tires and the racing soft tires must be used for 3 laps. Now, within the GT45 prototype mandate, that states that an in-lap and an out-lap do count as a lap. So, with that being said, if you start the race on the medium tire and you want to do a short stint, get off it as soon as possible, you can pit at the end of lap 3 and you will clear that tire mandate. If you take a tire in the middle of the race, it'll be an out lap, 1 full lap, and an in lap. That will also clear the tire mandate. Now, if in the case of rain, which will not be a factor here in round number 3, but round number 4 and 5 most certainly could play in, the rain mandate is very simple. If it rains and it hits that moisture meter where intermediate wet tires should be required, all bets are off. The tire mandates go out the window and it is game on. So, a little bit of clarification for everybody watching on that tire mandate. That is all on myself, as I posted the wrong set of literature, and I just want to make sure that the viewers at home are also on the same page. Okay, thanks, Nolander. Appreciate you. Alright, so we got about 1 minute here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to send these drivers away. Get the old readies up. we're going. For real, for real. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. New York is a wet place, so you know how it goes. All right, so we got 12 of our 14 drivers on track here in round number 3. We're in for a doozy here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half the field is checked in. We got 7. We're just gonna wait for the remainder of those readies. We know Miss Devious is ready, so she won't need to go through the process because she's in that VR. And there's 9, that's 10, that's 11. We are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are good to go. Good luck to our racers. Five-minute qualifying run here, ladies and gentlemen. Fuel and tire is turned off for qualifying, so these cars are set up for optimal qualifying conditions. However, with that being said, the drivers will only have a couple laps to get the lap right to get their best time, and they will need at least 1.5 laps around Watkins Glen here to get the tires warmed up this evening. So, Lucas 36 is on his way out on track, and he is looking like he's going to be also our first driver out on track. So, the man who made the lap attack for us here at the beginning of the Extreme is going to lead round number 3 Pro Division out here from the GT45 Prototype Challenge in qualifying. So, the drivers are potentially and most likely going to try and space each other out by about 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds. Slipstream won't really factor in a whole ton here at Watkins Glen around this. It's a very technical, high-speed to mid-speed track. So with that being said, it is kind of ideal for you just to have 3 seconds on both sides of you for qualifying, just in case of mistakes made, especially if the driver in front of you gives you time to react and get around safely, and hopefully not lose any time in your qualifying lap, and hopefully ideally for the driver stricken or in trouble, maybe just gathering themselves up or having a wiggle there, can get back going without any time loss as well. So spacing, I think, here at Watkins is going to be probably the most important thing here in qualifying. And again, with a 5-minute qualifying run, it's a very, very short qualifying run here. So you're going to see 2 laps. We'll see 3 laps maybe from the top 4 or 5 drivers, depending on their pace around the track here in qualifying. Now, we are in evening conditions, which means we are just after dinner time here, and the sun will start to set at some point in the race. And we'll start seeing some darkening conditions. So we are going to stay on board here with Lucas 369 as he comes across start-finish line. So that was just the out lap. Now it is a flying lap. We're 1:40 into the 5-minute qualifying run already. That should allow Lucas, as long barring that he doesn't make any big errors in his qualifying run, to get potentially 3 attempts at his fastest lap here today. We'll have to wait and see how it works out. But for the most part, it's set up to be a one-shot hot lap qualifying lap at optimal tire condition is essentially how this 5-minute qualifier is designed to be set up. It takes, like I said, a lap and a half on most racetracks here around Gran Turismo 7 to really get these tire temperature up to optimal, quote-unquote, Gran Turismo standard temperatures. And so that second flying hot lap essentially is that one hot lap shot qualifying lap typically. That's usually the one that the drivers are trying to optimize. First lap is a safety net lap. Second lap, trying to obviously find a large improvement on the first lap is the ideal situation. So we're going to stay with Lucas 369 here. And I think Dudley made a little bit of a mistake there near the end of that first qualifying lap, the out lap there. So he's a little bit in the back there now. And it's been a really great battle between Lucas and Payme and Dudley in the early part of the season here. And I suspect we'll see probably not a whole lot different this week from last 2 weeks, but we have, again, the majority of our racers back in the grid here, so that is really going to shake things up and how things go down here today. And Lucas 369 is going to put down a 1:28.1 to start qualifying off here. Is going to be Larry Birch coming through. Next is going to be second place for him. We've got JP moving up into second place. And we've got a driver that made a mistake, and it is throwing our timing all out of whack here. We got Badass in 4th place. We got Larry in 5th. We got Nolander in 6th place. 7th place, 8th place as ATB moves up into 6th. Death moves up into 3rd. Nolander in 8th. And our camera guy is really having a hard time figuring out where we need to be right now. So let's go on to ERA's Ishmael Truth in 10th place here to see where he is, as he comes across the line, is going to be good enough for 5th place. We got Paymay here in 11th out on the track here. Let's see what he's got as he comes around the racetrack here. He's got a half-second track limit penalty, so not the ideal situation there for him. And we've got 10 Tenths Mischievous out on an outlap, and she's going to have just enough time there to get a cooker by the looks of it. Alright, so it is Lucas369 in pole position, 128.102. It's going to be Dudley in second place with a 128.5. Death in third with a 28.7. That leaves JP in fourth with a 28.8, and Ishmael behind with a 29.4. Badass up into sixth place with a 29.9. ATB in seventh with a 29.9 as well. We've got Larry Berkshire with a 30 flat. J7 with a 33.2. We've got Nolander there with a 45.4. We've got Paymay had a penalty last time around, and Miss Devious is not recorded a flying lap. So Lucas369 is going to have about 20 seconds left on the clock. He doesn't improve on his first time around. Let's see if he's able to improve the second time around here. We got Death. Looks like he's going to come. No, I don't know who that was up ahead of Dudley. JP potentially up ahead of Dudley there. But we do not see an improvement from the driver that goes across. We do not see an improvement from Dudley as he comes across. Do we see an improvement from Death? No. All the drivers struggling fine there. We do have Paymay with a 132.4 and a Nolander with an improvement there as well. So Paymay, where does that put Paymay here in the list? Put Paymay up into 10th place here. Let's get on board with 10 Tenths Miss Devious here as well, as she's on her flying lap here. No, she did not get a flyer in here, it looks like. So she's going to start from the back of the grid. It looks like she just did not get across that checkered flag in time. Got Savannah up in the house saying, go Jay, go TT. Let's go pros. A lot of familiar faces in this pro lobby. Let's go get them, y'all. Absolutely. So it is Lucas here in pole. It is Dudley still flying. I think that is JP there up ahead of him as well. Still flying as well. And I think Death in third place there is, no, Death is finished. So it's 3 drivers here still on a flying lap. Lucas369 is on a purple sector here, telling us that is an improvement on the fastest lap here in qualifying right now. And that is going to probably squash it there as he clips the wall on the way around. And that is most certainly the case. Let's get to JP here as he's going to cross just before Dudley there, who's technically in second place right now in qualifying, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the placement of the drivers on the racetrack. A little bit of a touch there on the wall from Dudley as well here, so let's see what JP can do. It's not an improvement there. Dudley does improve, but it's still only going to be good enough for third place. ATK's Death is in fourth place. JP here in fifth. We got Ishmael in sixth. Badass is coming through here. It's going to be seventh place. Quick qualifying run. My goodness, that 5 minutes just goes so fast. All right, so it is a Lucas369 here in pole position with a 128.102. It's going to be Paymay here in second place with a 28.352. It's going to be Dudley in third with a 28.421. It's going to be ATK's Death in fourth with 28.706, and JP from RA in fifth place with a 128.8. ERA's Ishmael there with a 129.4. It's going to be 10 Tenths Simracing's Badass with a 129.910. And RA's ATB with a 129.951. RA's Larry Birch there with a 130 flat. Team Rad's Nolander with a 130.5. We got 10 Tenths J-Set there with a 133. And 10 Tenths Mischievous with a unregistered time there in qualifying. So not ideal for our final qualifier here today. Alright, so we're going to give them that 2-minute start warning. And of course, you guys are along for the ride with us here as we control the race from the booth. Alright, 12 drivers come out for qualifying here. 2 drivers unable to get out of the paddock here today. It's going to make for a great race with a dozen of these Audi R18 2016 LMP1 racing cars here at Gran Turismo 7. Very, very fun cars. They've been a great start to our season here, but this will be the last time we will see the Audi R18 in the hands of the pro drivers, as we will be moving to a different prototype car next week's round at Fuji, and we'll talk about that more later in the broadcast after the podium interviews. In the meantime, the focus is on this Audi R18 2016, and a little bit older technology, but still a fun car to race, and it is going to be a doozy here at Watkins Glen. It's one of my favorite racetracks here. Not only in Gran Turismo 7, but really in real life as well. So it's kind of a bucket list racetrack, so to speak, for this guy. And we're always excited when we see Watkins Glen come across the schedule in the commentator's booth. So we are definitely excited for our race here tonight. But not only that, we get 2 races at Watkins Glen this week here from GT45 Prototype Challenge, because we'll have our Pro-Am and Am multi-split on track racing the same race tomorrow night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes is about up. Let's get these drivers ready to go. I'd like to give them a few more seconds after the warning, because sometimes they might be refreshing a water or just stepped away for a second to stretch. Every driver has a routine, so we like to try and allow them enough time for those routines, but not too much time all at the same time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick it. We're actually essentially right on schedule as how we have things planned here so far, so that's fantastic tonight. Right on the minute marker here. Quarter 2 is when we like to try and get the race started. We have it started. Let's go racing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 12 of these fast pro drivers are on track. Let's get all the clutter out of your way so you can see what's happening. Kick them tires, light some fires. We are going racing, and it's Watkins Glen style. So right off the bat, we're going to roar down the start-finish line, and it's green, and it's green, and we got a false start check in the back. We'll be keeping our eye on that here in just a moment. Let's get to the back of the field there, and it was Nolander with the false start check there, so it is going to be Lucas to hold from pole position around the 90 here into the first corner. And as we head up into the S's, it's the usual suspects up at the top 3. JP sitting there in 4th place. We got Death right there at 6th. We got Badass there in 7th. Mischievous up into 8th place very quickly there. Got a great run up through there. We got Larry Birch in 9th. We got J-Set in 10th. We got ATB in 11th. We got Nolander here in 12th place. Some great launches off the start line, gaining some early positions for some of our drivers here. So now as we head down the carousel, it is Payme in the race lead here. So he gets around Lucas 36 up into the bus stop there, and it's now Dudley in 3rd place, chasing Lucas. JP right on top of him here. It is Ishmael in 5th, ATK's Death in 6th. We got Mischievous in 8th, Badass in 7th. We got Larry Birch in 9th. J-Set in 10th place, ATB in 11th, and look at that field as we come up in through the toe for the first time here tonight. We're going to see this 32 to 33 times. 4, 3 wide as we head out of the heel there. Everybody jockeying for position, and it's Payme trying to get out and gone. As JP now up into 2nd place. ATK's Death is now up into 3rd position. Ishmael's gone up into 4th place. We got Dudley and Lucas 36-9 battling for 5th place. Right now Lucas has the position. Dudley's going to settle in 6th place in behind here, and as we head around the final corner here to start lap number 2, it has been a spicy race start here, and our pole sitter finds himself sitting all the way down into 5th place early on here. So it is SV's Payme 1.7 seconds up the road as JP here in 2nd with ATK Death in 3rd place. And look at the huge group of Audis coming down out of the 90 there, and it's led by Ishmael Truth from ERA, our driver of the day last week. He's feeling the pressure here from Dudley and Lucas 369. A little bit of a touch there as Dudley just clipped the curb there. The curb threw the car off right into the side of Lucas's car there, and everybody has still survived here. Ishmael's going to go on the defensive here. Dudley trying to get something to happen there, but nothing happening. Ishmael's going to defend the position, and that's a great job here so far by our Pro Division drivers. Whew, all right, we had to clear our throat there for a second. All right, it's Dudley in 5th place. We got Lucas in 6th. We got Badass in 7th. We got Mischievous in 8th. We got Larry Birch in 9th place. We got J-Set in 10th. We got Nolander here in 11th place. And we got ATB in 12th. And the whole field, with the exception of Payme right now, basically nose to tail. So from 2nd through 12th place, they're in just one big, long line. Payme goes a little bit wide there as we enter into the chase, but he's not going to pick up any damage there. He's going to continue to try and open the gap. ATK's Death has gotten around JP here now, and he's up in 2nd place. JP chasing in 3rd. We got Ishmael here still leading this massive pack of cars here. 4th all the way down in through 10th place here, basically nose to tails. We head around to start lap number 3, and we're going to stick with it here as Lucas 369 goes on the outside. inside. Ishmael goes defensive. Dudley's trying to decide which line he's going to take here. He's got wide open track, nobody pressuring him there, and it's going to be Lucas 369 taking the outside line through turn 1, and he's going to get the job done, so he's going to move back up into 4th place. Absolutely great pass right there from Lucas 369. Let's go take another quick look at that there as we head in, as there's lots happening on the racetrack here right now, but a nice move on the outside there. Great positioning by him and Ishmael, and great pass there. Drivers continue moving on down the field. So it's Dudley in 5th place and Ishmael here in 6th. So Dudley's taking advantage, gotten around to Ishmael here as well. We got Badass there in 7th, and Stevie still in 8th position. We got J-Set now in 9th, and it is Larry Birch here in 10th. So those two switching positions here when we were probably playing that replay. We got ATB just getting around Nolander here, and is he going to go defensive? He's going to take the racing line here, and there is no room there for Nolander to try and take advantage of that as he is tucked in. But boy, Nolander gets a run there on ATB, and is he going to try and get the slipstream slingshot engaged type move? And we are, and we got a battle happening up ahead there between J-Set and Miss Devious, as well as their side-by-side. Badass is trying to put some pressure on Ishmael up ahead of him, and we got all kinds of things happening in this mid-pack right now. Let's stick with it. All right, top 3 there are settled in position. PMA first, ATK's Death in 2nd, JP in 3rd. Lucas is starting to close in on that pack here, and then we've got our 2nd group, which is led by Dudley. Now, Ishmael here is going to try and get the move done. Dudley made a little mistake, raised a wall on the exit coming out of the final corner, and Ishmael is going to easily get around coming into the braking zone for the 90 here, and he's going to get the job done, move himself back up into 5th place, and they are swapping positions here like candy in a candy machine here right now. Boy, oh boy, they are absolutely moving and grooving here. Badass in 7th place. We've got Mr. Devious there in 8th, and it looks like this battle is not over here between Ishmael and Dudley. It is for 5th place here between these two as we head into the bus stop. This is very difficult quarters here. It's very tight through there, but great job by the two drivers. Oh, but Dudley gets it a little bit wrong on the outside there, and now that's going to allow Badass to move up through into 6th place. Miss Devious is going to take advantage and try to follow Badass through there, and oh, she went to go take a defensive line there, and boy, that was real tight quarters. A little bit of contact there between the two, and she is going to hold the position off here for the time being, and again she's going to take a look at that defensive line, and Dudley is absolutely fighting hard here on the outside. Miss Devious making him work for it here. If he wants to move, she's going to continue to try and put him on the outside here, and he's going to take that position on the inside here on her. She may not be aware that he's there as he is in that VR, and she does squeeze him a little bit tight there, and there's a little bit of contact between the two, so in that blind spot there, and just in behind that rear tire, and boy oh boy, this is tight racing. We got a penalty here from Larry Birch in behind here. We've got J-Set down into 11th and Nolander in 12th, and these drivers are just switching positions around here. Great battles happening in the mid-pack. Ishmael, though, now trying to break through here. He's trying to break the toe to the pack, and now the pack is being led by our 6th place driver, Ten Tenths Badass. Miss Devious right in behind there, and the whole pack is still coming down. Dudley takes a look there on Miss Devious. No reaction coming from Miss Devious. He settles back into line there, and he continues on. So mind games at work here very early on in this race as well. ATB in 9th. We got Larry Burst there in 10th, Jay in 11th, and Nolander in 12th. Let's go see what's happening up front. Payme here in the race lead. He's got a 4-second gap here right now, and there's been so much going on. I haven't even had a second to check to make sure everything's actually working properly, and we are moving. Fantastic. ATK's Death here in 2nd place, doing a great job of trying to keep that pace with Payme. He gains a little bit of time there as he heading down in towards the toe and boot sector here, but boy, Lucas gets a good run there coming out on JP, and he's on the high side here, and he's going to be looking for a big run here again, and it's the old switcheroo coming from Lucas 369 there. Can he get the power down? No, JP gets a good run through there on the racing line, and Lucas is going to take a look here. He's going to take a move up the inside as we come up out of the heel sector, and that takes us into the chase, and Lucas 369 now back up into a podium position here, currently in 3rd place, and we're only 7.5 minutes into this race. It's Ishmael in 5th, it's Badass in 6th, it's Miss Devious in 7th, it's Dudley and ATB here now battling hard for 8th place, and it's Dudley currently holding down the spot here, but this is a 7-car deep pack right now, and I do suspect that these drivers continue to stay very close to each other, and if they're on similar strategies, that we're going to be seeing a lot of battles coming from this group here tonight. Watkins Glen, we're too deep, coming in behind. TT's J-Set looking on ATB, coming into the 90. He gets the move done, but ATB looking to respond. But I think there was just a little touch of the nose to the rear there, and ATB ran out of room to get the switcheroo done there. So J-Set's going to defend off the position as we head up in through the S's. That takes us into the bus stop here. Now let's get back up and see what's happening up here. We've got Ishmael in 5th place. We got Badass Misdevious. Dudley has gotten around there. He took the inside line coming up through the S's there, and he's going to get that optimal line through the bus stop, going to get the position, move up into 7th place. ATB holds off the charge from TT's J-Set here, and J-Set in 10th place. Larry Birch in 11th place, just in behind there. Nolander still right there on the back of this group as well, and he maybe is doing some strategy here. He's just chilling, letting these guys battle it out, and then try to pick up those worn out tires at the end of the stint, grab a little bit of time before the pit stops. Not sure what's going on there, but he's not in a terrible spot right there. We got ATK's Death there in 2nd place, and we've got Lucas369 here in 3rd place. JP doing a great job of trying to keep pace with Lucas, but that slipstream range is broken here at 1.1 seconds. It's ERA's Ishmael here, and no matter how hard he continues to try and lose that massive pack of cars in behind, they are not going anywhere. Now TT Misdevious leading the big pack of cars here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 car pack here, as she's trying to close the gap back down to Ishmael in front there. But Dudley really starting to put some pressure on 10 Tenths Misdevious there, and he gets a good run through the final corner, and here we go again on start on lap number 7. Dudley's going to take a look up the inside here as we head into the 19. He's going to have position coming into the braking zone. Are we going to see a cutback here? No. Stevie's going to settle back in line in 7th place there and settle in behind our 6th place driver Dudley. 10 Tenths Badass in 8th place, just in behind there. We've got ATB in 9th. We've got 10 Tenths J-Set here in 10th place. We got Larry in 11th position, and Nolander just right there again, just off the back of that group right now in 10th place. Make sure that we're not in a chat. I can hear some voices. It might be from outside. It trips me out all the time when I'm in my headset. But it is Paymate almost 6 seconds up the road. Big wiggle there as he comes up in through the toe, though. And now as he heads towards the heel, the gap is 5.8 seconds to ATK's Death. ATK has a 2.8 seconds to Lucas369 chasing in 3rd place, and JP is 1.7 seconds in behind him. So our top 4 about 5, almost 6 seconds ahead of Ishmael here. Well, we're going to call it this back half of the pack, basically the back half of the field essentially. So 2 packs, top 4, and from 5th through 12th place. And Ishmael here is losing that gap a little bit here, managing the gap. I guess it was 8 tenths as we came around here. It's actually still 8 tenths of a second here as 10 Tenths Misdevious in 6th place just comes around the second last corner here, and she still has Dudley very, very close in tow, and again catches a little bit of that curbing there, and Ishmael making a pit stop. So that might have been a reactionary move there from Misdevious, as she had to just avoid making contact there, going to take the racing line, maybe unaware that that was a pit stop coming from Ishmael and eating a whole lot of curb there. That's going to force her out wide there. Dudley, I thought he was going to make the move there, but he's got a car on the outside there. Oh boy, we're almost 3 deep there, and a big slide there from 10 Tenths Misdevious and Dudley there. And now there's contact between Nolander and Dudley there, and this race is just getting very, very bump and grindy here. We're getting a little argy-bargy here in the back part of this pack as these drivers try to sort all of this out here, but let's keep moving and grooving. And now we've got J-Set looking up the inside of Nolander here as well, and I think Nolander just got a good run and just misjudged the gaining speed there and made a little bit of contact. So we have some drivers that have made pit stops here. So first pit stops being made by some of our drivers here on lap number 7. Paymate 6.6 seconds up the road is ATK Death here in 2nd, and he's got again still holding that 2.8 second gap over Lucas369. Paymate is opening the gap up, so this has been a very spicy battle going on right here. And now we've got TT's Badass here up at the 5th place. We got Misdevious in 5th, and we got 6th, pardon me, and J-Set here in 7th place. We've got Dudley tucked right in behind them there up in 8th place, and this mid-pack battle has just been very, very feisty here all race long. Are we going to start seeing pit stops coming from some of these drivers fairly soon, I guess, is kind of the next question here. As nope, they're all going to continue rocking and rolling around here. Larry is just off the pack there as well in 10th place. We've got ATB here in 11th, and Ishmael, of course, did make that pit stop there. So he is the first of our drivers to make the pit stops work for him here today. So strategies now officially in play here on lap number 9. Payme just continues to open the gap up here on ATK's Death. We got Lucas 369 starting to close the gap up here on ATK's Death as well. Gap was 2.8, now it's down to 1.8, so maybe a little bit of a miscue somewhere here by Death that cost him just a little bit of time, but now that gap is still dwindling here, 1.5, 1.3. As we head up in through the toe, it is 1.3 seconds even. Heading into the heel now, Lucas is gaining very quickly here on ATK's Death. All right, so let's go jump on with Payme here real quick and see what Payme is going to do here. Are we going to see a pit stop? Are we going to see him continue around? He is going to continue around. We can tell by the way he's setting up the corner. We've got ATK's Death here in second position, and boy, Lucas 369 is closing in quickly, and it looks like Death's going to make a pit stop here. You can see him slowing down, setting up on the left-hand side of the racetrack. Lucas is going to continue to go around, take second place away from Death there with that pit stop being made by the ATK driver. JP is going to continue going around there. He's going to move up into third position. So where does that put the rest of the pack that's chasing here in the second pack? It's going to put Badass just up ahead of Death here. Yes, it does. It does put Badass up into fourth place. That's going to put J-Set into fifth place. That's going to put Dudley here in sixth. We got Larry in seventh. We got Misdevious in eighth position. We've got ATB here in ninth, with Death coming out of pit lane. We got Nolander coming into pit lane, and Ishmael, of course, made that pit stop a couple laps ago. So a different strategy coming from, looks like, chunks of the field here. So we've seen Ishmael come in a fair bit earlier than a handful of our drivers, a little less than a handful of our drivers. Now we'll wait to see when the remaining of our drivers come in to make those first pit stops. Death's tires were toast. They were definitely in rough shape, absolutely. And it is Payme here. Now he's almost got the gap up to 11 seconds here over at Lucas 369. We've got JP here in third position. We've got Ten Tenths Badass here in fourth place. Dudley chasing here in fifth position. We got Jay here in sixth place. We got Larry here in seventh with a 1 second penalty. Ten Tenths Misdevious very close behind here. May be able to take advantage of that penalty, and ATB in behind may also be able to take advantage of that penalty, but he may have had to serve one there himself, it looks like, as he had pulled off the racing line there as well. So Death, after his pit stop, comes out into 10th position. We got our race leader now in pit lane, Ishmael here in 11th. Nolander in 12th place after making his pit stop just last lap. So Lucas is going to take the race lead from Payme now as he comes around. JP is going to follow Lucas around here in second place, and Payme is going to come out where, in relation to that crazy battle and pack that we have in the back half of our pack here, they're all going to grab that position on Payme here. So let's go see what's happening. It is Dudley battling with Badass there, and Dudley is going to get the move done there out of the 90, and he's going to move himself up into third place. Badass going to move up into fourth position. We got J-Set there in fifth place, Misdevious in sixth, Larry Bird's very close behind there in seventh, gave up that position with a 1 second track limit penalty just about a half a lap to go there. We got ATB here in 8th place, and Payme came out in 9th position, just ahead of ATK Death by about 12.9 seconds, and a penalty there for Death, not ideal. Ishmael here is 3.2 seconds in behind ATK's Death, and we got Nolander here about 4 seconds in behind him, but again, pit stops made by the back 4 or 5 drivers here now in our field. So it is Lucas 369 continuing around here, and our medium tire runners will be looking to probably put a little bit of an extended stint in for this first stint, and then we'll probably see a couple of shorter soft tire runs for the drivers that have yet to do their medium stint. That is most likely what we're seeing a lot of our soft tire starters do right now. They'll probably jump on the medium tires in the middle part of the race, and then they'll run a soft tire stint to finish the race off. And we'll have to see how those strategies relate to each other once everything works out. So Dudley there now dropping 2 positions to Badass and J-Set, finds himself back into 5th place, and it has been an all over the place race here for a half a dozen of our drivers here. Misdevious, Dudley, Badass, J-Set, Nolander, Ishmael as well. Very, very active battling. Larry Birch there in 6th place here now as well, with the pit stop being made by Badass there in 8th place. ATB's also going to follow him in. So where's Death? There he is. He is coming around. ATK's Death coming around, and he should grab spot from Badass and ATB here as he comes around. He most certainly does. Ishmael's also going to grab that spot, and noted Ishmael is closing in here on ATK's Death as well. And it is now. Ishmael here in 9th. It's Nolander in 10th. The TT's Badass is going to come out here in 11th place, and ATV is going to be out just shortly in behind him there in 12th position. So it is Lucas 369 here in first position, and he is 4.8 seconds up ahead of JP here in second place. We got Dudley and JSet battling it out here for that third place position, but JSet does have no penalty there, so he's going to get it easily away from Dudley as he has to serve that half-second track limit penalty, and Dudley is gaining and then losing and then gaining and then losing today. He is having a very up and down race here today. 10 Tenths Misdevious here in 5th place. He's got Larry Birch at 6th. Paymay on the outside. Larry there in 7th place, and he gets a pretty good launch out of there on the outside coming into the chase there, and that is going to move him up into 6th place there. And now he's putting some pressure here on 10 Tenths Misdevious. A little bit of a touch there, and that's going to allow Larry to get a run here now. And this is a three-way battle for third place here as the drivers come around into the 90. Paymay does have that inside track. He's going to get the job done coming into turn number 1 here. And ooh, Larry Birch checking up a little bit there, not to make contact with Misdevious under braking there, and almost lost the car underneath of him there. So it was a great recovery right there from Larry Birch. He's still in 5th place. Could have cost himself a little bit of time on the back of those drivers there, but kept the car underneath of him. Ishmael, ATK's Death here coming into the 90, battling for position here, and side by side here as we come out of turn number 1 there, and it is going to be Ishmael's Truth now moving up into 7th place, and ATK Death very close in behind, but you see Lucas 369 just comes out ahead of Ishmael there. And are we going to see Ishmael take a look? He was thinking about it there. He stayed on that inside track, so just going to see if there was a little bit of room, maybe take a look, but gets some air underneath the nose of that car. He got a nice turn in through the bus stop there, and it is JP here now in the race lead, so he has yet to stop. We have Dudley here in 2nd place, also still needs to make his first pit stop, so it is Paymay essentially in the lead of our first set of pit stop drivers. 10 Tenths Misdevious here up into 4th position. We've got RA's Larry Birch here in 5th place. It's Lucas 369 in 6th position. It's Ishmael here in 7th. It's Death in 8th. It's Nolander in 9th. It's Badass in 10th position after his sequence of pit stops is kind of almost finished out here for our first set of pit stops. ATB in 11th, and TT's JSet here in 12th place. 4.2 seconds back here for the time being, but it is 10 Tenths Misdevious now in pit lane there last time around in 5th place as well, so that will give a few positions up to the drivers in behind chasing. So here we go, it is JP now leading the race. The gap is 10.6 seconds over SV's Paymay right now on the racetrack, and JP is putting in a proper stint here on those racing medium tires. It is Paymay here in 2nd place, and Dudley tucked right in underneath here in 3rd position as well. So Paymay moving very quickly up through the field here. Larry Birch in 4th place with Lucas 369 in 5th position. We got Ishmael here in 6th. We got Death close behind there in 7th place still. We got Nolander up into 8th place with 10 Tenths Badass right in behind in 9th. We've got ATB in 10th place and JSet there in 11th place, and it's going to be Misdevious coming out here in 12th place just in behind JSet after her first pit stop here as well. So we're 21 minutes into this race. We have about 28 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Get to see yet another set of pit stops from these drivers here. Watkins Glen is very hard on these racing tires, and the drivers are going to have to work very hard here to manage their strategies on these tires. So Paymay in 2nd place. We just seen the race leader JP come in to make his first pit stop here, so that will give the race lead back to SV's Paymay here as he moves up the racetrack in now 1st place. And fastest man on the racetrack is a 129.169. JP comes in. Dudley comes into pit lane. Larry Birch also comes into pit lane, so it's going to be Lucas 369 here. And the gap currently to our leader is 16.6 seconds, but he should leapfrog all 3 of the drivers that just went into pit lane there, and he will move himself up into 2nd place. So we got Ishmael and ATK's Death here in 3rd position, and you can see just there a minute ago Ishmael moving across to try and break that slipstream range from ATK's Death, and ATK Death just followed him over there to try and keep in that tow and get a good run here out of the 90 into the S's, and that's exactly what we have here. So Death is going to tuck back into the slip, and what is he going to do? He's going to make Ishmael go on the defense there, and Ishmael tries to move him a little bit up the racetrack, give himself a better line through the bus stop there, but Death had none of it, and Ishmael gets a great run through their defensive position here as we head down the carousel and in towards the tow and boot sector. It's great stuff here between our 3rd and 4th place drivers. We've got Ten Tenths Badass here in 5th place. He's got Team Rad's Nolander in 6th place, just 3/4 of a second in behind, and he is under fire here from JP in 7th place after making his pit stop from the race lead. So he does find himself there in 7th position after that first pit stop. Got ATB here in 8th place. We've got Dudley in 9th after his pit stop. We got J-Set here in 10th position. We got Larry Birch in 11th, and Miss Devious just moving up into 11th there. Heading down in towards the heel of the boot here, no, toe of the boot, pardon me, and we're side by side there. Larry on that inside line. Miss Davies gets a good run on the outside there, and she is going to hold the position from RA's Larry Birch here for the time being, and as we head into the heel of the boot sector here leading into the chase, it is going to be Ms. Devious holding off the charge from RA's Larry Birch for the time being, but very, very close battle here as they're only separated by about 4/10 of a second, 3, 2, and that is that slipstream. So Larry Birch getting the nice, good free pull in towards that rear bumper of 10/10 Ms. Devious here, and he has closed right in and going to take a look up the inside here as we head into the 90, and this is a battle for 11th position here, and it is going to be RA's Larry Birch getting it done for the time being. 10/10 Miss Devious here settles right in behind as they head up to the S's, and I'm sure that this battle is far from done. Alright, so, pardon me, it is Paymay here in the lead, 18.3 seconds. He continues to grow that gap. Got Lucas 369 here, he's in 2nd position, and just trying to manage the gap right now to our race leader in 2nd place. We've got Ishmael here in 3rd place. It's 5.4 seconds to 2nd place here right now. He is slowly but surely starting to pull away from ATK's Death and has that gap just over 1.2 seconds. So just kind of got ATK's Death out of that free tow range here on the racetrack. As 10/10's Badass here still in 5th place, and he still has only half a second here over JP in behind. So JP has made his way around Team Rad's Nolander, and these two have opened up about a 2.2 second gap to him there as well on the racetrack. So now JP's trying to track in on 10/10's Badass here and loses a little bit of time there as we come through the chase. So it's about 8/10 of a second here as we head into the 90 at turn number 1. So now it's ATB and Dudley here. This is 8th and 9th position, and Dudley can do much of the same thing here. He's going to take a look up the inside into the 90. ATB is going to try and hold it tough on the outside, and Dudley's going to get the job done, move himself up into 8th place, and ATB is going to settle back in behind up through the S's here and try himself up for a response. ATB going to get some clean air there and realized the curb was suddenly upon him there, so he had to go for a little bit of a ride over that curb there, but he managed it very well. And now as we head into the bus stop there, a little bit of contact there between the two drivers. Unfortunately, that shoves ATB, kind of pushed himself a little bit wide there, and he's going to lose a little bit of pace off of the back of Dudley there as they come down through the carousel. So Jay Set here 5.2 seconds in behind that battle up in front of him right now. Miss Davis is about 5.3 seconds in behind Jay Set. Still has Larry Birch very close behind, half a second. Alright, it seems like everywhere we look here we got little action battles happening, little groups, little packs of cars right now battling for position, and I think we'll see where this race is going to kind of stand here in about another 10 minutes time, when we should probably start to expect seeing another set of pit stops here in our race today. So it is Lucas 369 in 2nd place. It's Ishmael here up into 3rd position right now. We've got ATK's Death in 4th place. We've got 10/10's Badass, and he's starting to close in on ATK's Death there, and he is bringing JP along with him here as well. So as we head down into the 90, let's sit with this here for a minute. And Badass can take a very wide exit there, and that may cost him. The track officials may slap him with a penalty there, and there it is, and it's a 1 second track limit infraction there as he goes into what we like to call the NASCAR line here at Watkins Glen. And in these group class racing cars, you are not allowed to go past that yellow and red curbing or orange curbing, depending on how you see it here at Watkins Glen. You have to keep at least 2 tires on that curbing to avoid the track officials handing down the penalty. So that is why we do see the 1 second penalty as opposed to a half-second track limit infraction here at Watkins Glen, because they do give a lot of extra leniency already coming out of turn number 1, and they figure if that's not enough, then the drivers are going to have to pay the price. Now, I mean, that was just a mistake. Badass didn't gain any real advantage out of that, and unfortunately for him, he just closes in on ATK's death. He's going to have to pull out of the way. JP's going to grab that position on him. He's going to have to tuck it right back in. He's going to have a little bit of work to do there to close back in on JP and ATK's death here, but currently sitting in 6th place. 10.2 second gap to Dudley in behind in 7th place, who's just recently gotten around ATB there, and ATB is about a half second in behind. We've got Nolander, and he's essentially kind of in no man's land here right now. He's got no immediate pressure. He's got nobody right in his rearview mirror, and he still has cars right there that he can see up in front of him. So he's not comfortable, but he has a little bit of breathing space here right now on the racetrack to continue trying to put in quality laps here. GTJ set in 10th place here as well. Got Larry Birch in 11th, and Mischievous here in 12th. And it is some good hard fighting here all the way from 1st to 12th place in this field today. Paymay's had a pretty casual drive for the most part here, though, so far, as he is on a little bit of a different strategy than the majority of the field. So we'll have to see how that works out at the end of the race. We've got Ishmael here in 3rd place, and the gap from him to Lucas is 11.8 seconds right now. And then it's 3.6 seconds for this battle, and there it is, JP and ATK's death here battling it out for 4th place. That's TT Badass lurking in the background there, just licking his chops, waiting for this battle to go down so he can get himself involved, and he is right there. Now 3-way battle here for 4th place between JP, Death, and Badass, and JP is currently leading this battle for 4th place as he got the job done on ATK's death there, and that took a few corners. That was a good section of the racetrack there it took for JP to secure that position away from ATK's death, but in the process of doing that, that has now allowed 10 Tenths Badass to get into this fight. And you can see just up ahead there is the 3rd place driver, Ishmael Truth, as well. So things are getting tighter together, but it does appear that Ishmael is going to be making a pit stop there, and that is the case. So Ishmael Truth making what I would assume to be his final pit stop of the race. That's going to move JP up into 3rd place. That's going to move Death into 4th and Badass into 5th place. So this has now become a 3-way battle for 3rd place here on the racetrack. And oh, what a great run there. That Death gets through the 90, and he is all over the back bumper of JP here right now as we head up through the S's, and we are going to see side-by-side action. Death tried to get in the hole there. JP went to close the hole off. A little bit of contact. They sort each other, get back in line, get sorted out, and re-engage here into the bus stop. Death's going to back out just a little bit, get some clean air in the nose of that race car. Badass takes a different line than the other two for the same reason, and all 3 of these guys come out still within striking distance of each other. So some great racing here, but JP gets a good run coming down the carousel, and as we enter into the heel boot sector here again, or the toe boot sector, pardon me, JP trying to open up that gap a little bit here, 3/4 of a second right now as we head up in through the toe, and again, huge uphill undulating corner, basically 180-degree corner by the looks of it there as the time we get around. Paymate now in pit lane, making his 2nd pit stop of the race here. So JP is going to come around out of the heel here, and that leads us up into the chase. Badass putting a little bit of pressure here on Death now in 4th place, and this has become a 2-way battle for 4th place instead of a 3-way battle for 3rd place here for the time being. Now, I guess the question is, does the 10 Tenths driver decide to work with the ATK driver, or does he decide that he's got the pace and he's just going to try and make something happen here heading into turn number 1? Well, we are going to sit here and find out. Now, going to be tough. He's got to get into that slip there, and I think that he is just a little too far back there to try and make something happen into the 90, but he definitely gets a good run coming out of the 90, and he's just going to settle back in behind ATK's death here. So I think it's a little bit of passive offense here right now from 10 Tenths Badass. He wants to potentially try and get around ATK death there, but he doesn't want to make the hard fought battle there to cost a bunch of time to JP up in front. So I think this is going to be a very calculated pass here from Badass if he does try to make it. And now he doesn't have to worry about it as ATK Death picks up that second track limit penalty there and is just going to hand that position over to Ten Tenths Badass there. So Dudley here is 6 seconds in behind, closing in on these guys. It was 9 seconds a couple laps ago last time we checked. Payme comes out of pit lane in 6th position. We got ATB here in 7th. He's also carrying a second track limit penalty, so it was DT's J-Set. That's going to give Larry 8th place here over Ten Tenths J-Set as he is tucked right up in behind. We've got Misdevious here in 10th position. We've got Ishmael here now in 11th after his pit stop, and we got Nolander also making a pit stop recently back in 12th place. So our second round of pit stops are starting to filter through here. So the interesting question is are we going to see another comeback drive from Lucas369, who currently is in the lead of this race? But when Payme did make that pit stop, there was about a 20-second gap. Now, with that being said, that's going to put Payme on the medium tire. That's going to put Lucas on a set of soft tires. And much like round 2, it was the race is on from there. So can Lucas close in on SV Payme here before the end of the race after these pit stop sequences start to go through? And that is not going to be good for ATB there. You can see he really nursed over that line coming into pit lane. His tire absolutely done there, and may pick up a 3-second track limit penalty there, and that is not going to be ideal as we head into the final 16 minutes and 35 seconds of our race here. So again, 33 laps. You can see the headlights are starting to come on in these LMP1 cars here now, so the sun is starting to go down. It is kind of hiding behind the clouds a little bit there in the sky, making it a little darker on the racetrack here as well. And there's not a lot of spots on the racetrack that are heavily lit here at Watkins Glen, so the driving conditions may get very difficult here for our drivers near the end of this race. As Dudley in 5th place, we got Payme here in 6th position. Larry Birch is up in 7th. We got Jay in 8th. We've got Misdevious here in 9th position. We've got Ishmael in 10th place. We got Nolander in 11th, and we got ATB here in 12th after his pit stop. So essentially, we're just waiting for that final half of the field to make their final round of pit stops and kind of see where everybody shakes out once all that is sorted out here. Now, we do know that Lucas and JP are going to have some time to make up on SV's Payme, but the question is how much time are they going to have to make up, and can they close the gap? He's a very quick driver. They continue going around, so Payme now up into 3rd place with a set of stops coming here. We've got Ten Tenths Badass in pit lane. We got ATK's Death in pit lane. We got Dudley here in pit lane. Larry's going to stay out. Jay's going to stay out. Misdevious is going to opt to come into pit lane. We've got Ishmael coming around. He pit a little bit earlier ago, so he should be able to snag a couple of positions there. And then we've got Nolander and ATB here in 11th to 12th place. So things are going to start to tighten back up as we end our race here at Watkins Glen tonight. You can see the stars are starting to poke out in the background there as where the sun is kind of dissipated and the sky is starting to turn from sunshiny blue to open sky navy blue. Very beautiful, but again, getting very dark there. And Lucas369 right now with the race lead, and I do suspect we're going to see that pit stop coming very soon from him here. And he's out of fuel, so it's going to be this time. He's not going to be able to go another time around here. We got JP coming around, and I think it's going to be much of the same for JP here. It looks like him and Lucas369 are on very similar strategies here. And as he comes around in through the chase, so the gap is 19 seconds to Lucas, so Payme has a fairly large gap to Lucas369 here, but he also had a fairly large gap to the pack when he was on his run. So it was 27 seconds was the overall gap. And we can see fuel going into Lucas369's car here, and boy, this is going to be close. Payme is coming around. Lucas has stopped taking the fuel. He should be on his way out of pit lane here any second. We're waiting to see that car come out. No, we do not. We got Lucas coming out, and he's going to come out just ahead or just beside RA's Larry Birch, and it's going to be Larry taking 2nd position as he comes around the 90 there. So Lucas369 comes out in 3rd place, and the gap right now is about 12 seconds to SV's Payme. So he did do a pretty good job of closing up that gap. So JP's coming out of pit lane here. We got 10 Tenths J-Set now in making his final stop here. And you can see how quickly it is getting dark on the racetrack here. And Ishmael going to move up ahead of JP there into 4th position. JP now in 5th place after that pit stop. We got ATK's Death here in 6th with Dudley all over the rear bumper right now here in 7th place. Badass in 8th place, just jumping ahead of TTJ set there as he's still in pit lane. He does get released there, it looks like, in 9th position. And oh yes, it is race on here now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are down to the final 13 minutes of our race. Drivers have made their pit stops. Let's see where we're at on the racetrack. The gap is 12 seconds from Paymay to RA's Larry Birch. Larry is under fire from Lucas369, and Lucas369 is going to get the job done. He's not messing around. He knows what he needs to do here, and he gets around Larry Birch. So that is a pass for 2nd place here, and this is coming up out of the toe sector. He gets a good run up the hill here on RA's Larry Birch, and he's going to move it up the inside there as he comes into the heel, and a good, nice, quick, tidy pass there from Lucas369 around RA's Larry Birch, and the charge is on to Paymay up in first. So Larry now in pit lane. That now leaves Ishmael and JP here in 4th and 5th place, coming around to potentially take that final podium position away from Larry here as he's in pit stop. You can see the fuel can is in that car. And as they come around, it is going to be ERA's Ishmael here in 3rd position. Now, he just missed out on the podium last week, and he's just holding on to it here right now as he has teammate JP just in behind in 5th place. We got ATK's Death here under fire here from Dudley, and Dudley gets a great run out of the 90, turn number 1 there, up through the S's, and he's going to move up into 5th place there and get around ATK's Death as well. So now it's 10 Tenths Badass here in 7th place. We've got RA's Larry Birch here in 8th position. We've got Misdevious in 9th place. Got J-Set here in 10th position. We've got ATB in 11th, and Nolander here making his final pit stop, it looks like, of the race as well. All right, 10.7 seconds is the gap, and Lucas is cutting into that gap, but not as quickly, I'm sure, as you'd probably like to see with 11 minutes just over remaining on the clock. Now, the gap to Ishmael here in 3rd place is significant. It's almost 19 seconds, and I think Ishmael may have just trying to break the toe there as it came up, out, in through the toe. And now as we head through the hill, JP has absolutely closed up here on Ishmael. So JP here now putting some pressure on Ishmael Truth here. This is a battle for 3rd position, and we got, it looks like, a battle for 5th position happening in behind between Dudley and Death here again as well. And let's go check that out, as this one isn't quite as active here at the moment, and it is Dudley ahead of Death here at the moment. They were just very close together. I'm not sure if there was an actual battle happening between the two of them. We were just assuming that they were close enough together that we had to take note. This is Badass here, 4.4 seconds in behind. Larry's about 10 seconds in behind there. Mischievous now is 1.7 seconds in behind Larry Birch, and J-Set is about half a second in behind 10 Tenths Mischievous. They're rounding out our top 10, so let's keep an eye on the gap here in the lead. 10 minutes remaining, gap down to just under 10 seconds. Little flash of the headlights there, as I believe that was Nolander. Yes, it was Team Rad's Nolander. They're just coming fresh out of his pit stop there, so Paymay just going around there, so a little flash of the headlights just to warn him that he was coming there, and great response there from our Team Rad's Nolander. We've got Lucas369 here's trying to close in. We got Ishmael here in 3rd place, and right now Ishmael's got his hands full with JP in behind here in 4th position. But again, Ishmael just moves over, breaks that toe, he sits on the defensive line in case he needs to, and then he moves back out into the optimal braking spot, the racing line, to get the corner done. JP not close enough to make anything happen quite at the moment, and potentially not trying to make anything happen here right now. There's still a few laps left here in the race yet today, and you don't want to make that move necessarily too early. So it's Dudley here in 5th place, and he's trying to lose ATK Death here right now, 1.2 seconds in behind there. We've got 10 Tenths Badass here in 7th position with Larry Birch there in 8th place. We've got 10 Tenths Misdevious applying some pressure there in a 3-way battle for 8th place here between Larry, Misdevious, and J-Set. And as we head in through the last corner of the chase here, heading up to the start-finish line, it is game game on here for these three drivers. So heading down into the 90, they got a pretty decent amount of space between each other here, so we're not going to see any passes happen coming into the corner, but we may see something happen coming out of the corner here, and nothing doing here as all three of the drivers get out nice and neat and tidy, and the chase is going to continue on up through the S's here. We're going to stay with it for another minute here yet, as Miss Devious does get a charge here on Larry Birch. Jay is just tucked in behind these two here, and she is going to get side-by-side position here, and this is going to go through the bus stop like this, and all three drivers just handling it like the pros they are. They come down the carousel, and Larry Bird's doing a great job at holding down 8th place here from Miss Devious and J-Set that are definitely pushing hard here in behind to grab that spot. ATB in 11th. We got Nolander here in 12th place. But it is SV's Payme here now in the race lead, and it is very dark here now at Watkins Glen. And we're going to be finishing under the lights here tonight. So it is Lucas 369 in second place. The gap is 7.8 seconds with 7.5 minutes remaining. Right now, Payme has just enough pace to hold Lucas 369 off by a couple of car lengths, and that is just based off of roughly how much time's coming off per minute. It's Ishmael here in third place. JP still right there, 0.3 of a second in behind, applying the pressure, but again, not making any immediate moves right now here. He's being patient and maybe waiting for a proper moment or a proper opportunity. We're going to go side by side into the bus stop here, and this is a battle for the final podium position here. It's Ishmael, it's JP, they're side by side. Well done, gentlemen. It's going to be JP getting it done, hanging it on the tough end of the bus stop there, and it's going to be third place there for JP over Ishmael's Truth. Great run there from JP. So it's ATK's Death here in 6th place. We've got Ten Tenths Badass in 7th. We've got Larry Birch here in 8th. We've got Jay in 9th. Mischievous now in 10th. We got ATB here rocking and rolling here in 11th place, and Nolander in 12th position. But it is Payme, 7.5 seconds up the road. He's doing a fantastic job at controlling the pace up in front from Lucas 369, chasing in 2nd position. He is pushing hard. He's doing everything he can. He's got, I believe, Nolander just up in front of him here now, and he's going to have to navigate around that situation here as well pretty soon. But it is JP now in 3rd place. He tracked in. He stayed patient. He sat in behind Ishmael long enough till he had a good enough run to get a good move done. He does make that move happen in the bus stop, but now Ishmael here as we head across start lap 29, starting to close back in on JP here, and battle re-engage potentially here for 3rd and 4th place. We got Dudley in 5th place, and he's kind of in no man's land right now. He's got a little bit of breathing space right now. Not the worst place to be at this point in the race. We got ATK's Death, much of the same thing. Couple seconds on both sides. Ten Tenths Badass, that's 2.3 seconds up ahead. He's got a good gap in behind, so doesn't need to worry about what's happening behind him here right now. That focus does need to be on the 6th place driver up in front there. So J-Set leading the charge in this next pack here with Miss Devious and Larry Birch. And Larry picking up a 1 second track limit penalty there, so that's going to ruin that charge up as he continues on. But if he can get around J-Set before he serves a penalty, that should keep him close enough to those two to hopefully re-engage the battle within the last 5 minutes of the race here. So it is Payme coming around here. 6.2 seconds is the current gap, and down to 6 here as Lucas 369 now heads around the final corner. And as the timer runs down and as the lap counters start to run down, does Lucas 369 have enough in him here to shake down Payme tonight? It's Ishmael here in 3rd position, and JP again very close behind in 4th, so they have swapped that position back. Ishmael has gotten the podium back from his compadre there, JP, and as we continue around here, what is going to happen in the next 4.5 minutes between the two ERA drivers? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. Well, between the two RA drivers, Ishmael is ERA and I believe JP is RA, but same racing team, just different divisions. So it is Dudley here in 5th position. We got ATK Death here in 6th place. It's Badass in 7th position with J-Set here in 8th. Miss Devious in 9th. She's got a penalty there as well. Larry here in 10th place. We've got ATB here in 11th. We got Nolander in a little bit of trouble there as he comes around the corner, but he's going to gather himself up. He got a little bit of front splitter damage there, but there's only just under 4 minutes on the clock, so he's almost got it home here today, and tense moment there for Team Rad's Nolander, as I believe he was just entering into the toe sector of the track there. So it is Paymay coming around here, and Paymay knows now with that 8.7 second gap there that it is all his. So Lucas 369 must have made a mistake somewhere here. He gave some of that time away, and it is going to be looking like a second place drive there for Lucas 369, but anything can happen in the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And as we say that, his battle for third place is back on. JP Ishmael here, and it is a fight between these two. And as we head through the chase, JP takes a look on the outside, nothing doing there. He's going to settle back in behind Ishmael and see if he can get the run and the charge up leading into the 90, and Ishmael's going to break the toe there. And JP thought about not following him there, then he figured, you know what, I better stay at that toe. And he gets into the 90 here, and he's not going to get the charge he needed there to pass Ishmael coming out of turn one, but he is going to get a good charge up the S's here. This is a very healthy battle here for third place between the two drivers, and it just never seems to fail here so far in this prototype challenge. We are having checkered flag finishes for a podium position in every single round of racing so far this year. And there it is. It's Ishmael defending the charge from JP as they head into the bus stop. JP tried to do the same thing that he did to Ishmael 3 or 4 laps ago to get that pass done, and Ishmael is having none of it this time, and JP goes on the outside there, and JP is just absolutely giving the business to Ishmael here right now as we head up into the toe sector of the racetrack here. This is just too good to leave right now, and JP with a big wiggle there. Ishmael's going to break the toe. JP's just going to stay in the racing line here. He's not going to follow him over this time, and that is probably going to help JP close that little bit of a gap back up that he had from that wiggle. And for the time being, this battle has settled down. So it is SV's Paymay, 9.2 seconds up the road from Lucas 369 here. He's got 25 seconds from this great battle in third and fourth place. Let's go see what's happening in the rest of the field. We got ATK's Death here in fifth at 1.2 seconds to Badass in sixth. He's got 9/10 of a second to Dudley in seventh. Jay Set there, M is Devious in eighth and ninth place. Larry Birch there in 10th, just 3/10 of a second in behind. So we got little battles all up and down this racetrack here, and it's going to be final lap racing here, ladies and gentlemen, as our field comes through towards the start finish line. But it is Paymay here, and Paymay may get that 33rd lap here as he's heading up in through the toe sector here right now. So Paymay has just been on a rail here today at Watkins Glen, and 8.5 second gap right now here from street version, and looking good, and lots of time left on the clock here yet as well. So he will have to take one more lap around here, and let's get back to this battle here between these two, as JP and Ishmael still fighting it out here, and this is coming up in, and look how deep JP sent it there, and he sent it too deep as he gets up into the wall on the outside of the racetrack there, and that may have cost him his opportunity at the podium here, but we'll wait and see. There's still 20 seconds on the clock. JP is still just in the slipstream range there, but I would assume that he took a little bit of damage from the hit on the nose of the car there into the wall, and he just absolutely tried to send it on the outside there on Ishmael, and unfortunately just was unable to hold the outside of that corner, and it is going to be Ishmael from ERA that's going to hold down that podium position here tonight. Congratulations to him, first podium of the season for Ishmael. It's going to be JP with a hard-fought fourth place finish in behind. It's going to be ATK Death with another great race finish here in fifth place. Ten Tenths Badass going to bring it home here in sixth position. Ten Tenths J-Set's going to bring it home just in behind there in seventh place as well here tonight, and Miss Devious is going to follow up in behind them in eighth position. Larry Birch very close behind Dudley there in 10th place here as well. And where is our race leaders? All right. It is a 10th place finish there for Dudley. ATB is going to bring it home here from Race Asylum in 11th place, and it is going to be Nolander here, but I think he's going to finish in behind our race race leaders here, and that is going to be the case here. So it's going to be SV's Paymay, and he is going to take a round 3 victory here at Watkins Glen International Raceway. Congratulations to Paymay for a very good race here, and Lucas369 just didn't quite have it in the tank tonight to chase down that leader, but he is going to bring it home here in second position and out of fuel as he comes coasting to the start-finish line here tonight. And 12th place finish here for Team Rad's Nolander as he comes around the final couple of corners. Oh, and he gets a big hit there on the wall as that right-left is just absolutely screaming there, but he gets it across, and it's going to be a 12th place finisher from Team Rad's Nolander. Congratulations to all our pro class drivers here tonight. That was a race, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what a great race, start to finish. We had ourselves a doozy there, and it is going to be SV Paymay with the race win. It's going to be Lucas369 in second, but he is going to take that fastest lap point with that pole position point here tonight. It's going to be ERA Ishmael's Truth in third position, JP here in fourth place. Great drive here from him tonight. We got ATK's Death here in fifth position, Ten Tenths Badass in sixth place. It's going to be Ten Tenths J-Set in 7th position and Ten Tenths Misdevious in 8th place. RA's Larry Birch here in 9th position. Dudley's going to bring it home here in 10th place. ATB in 11th place. And Team Rad's Nolander in 12th place here tonight. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, our unofficial race results here from our Pro Prototype Challenge. And that means podium interviews come next. All right, so we are just going to get all sorted out here for our podium interviews, so just bear with us here for a moment's time, ladies and gentlemen, as we got to get the proper. Oh, I agree, Ishmael. I do not disagree, actually. He is the top driver on my list right now, and that's no joke. That's no joke. That is no joke. All right. So, we'll give a few moments for our drivers here to make their way towards the podium interview box. And wow, what a crazy race here today! It was really anybody's game, and I mean that mid pack battle all race long. It wasn't just for a little bit this race; it was the whole race. Uh, Between basically from 5th through 12th place, or for the majority of the race, absolutely very intense battle at several portions of the racetrack here, and these drivers sent it here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what, they really came out to put on a show, that's for sure. Whew, all right. Was Nylander out of fuel? I'm not sure. He might have. I didn't notice. TDC. How's it going, Roses? Appreciate you. We got Jerry saying Grad's death. Kept pushing GG's Nylander. GG's y'all. I don't think I need to say anything. You know the process, my dude. You know the process. It's all good. If you feel like you need to file any reports or anything, you know what to do, my guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys get those replays. Do not forget to save those replays. Replays are always important. I'm not in the interview booth, so I can't see if the drivers are coming in. All right, we have a couple of our drivers here in the interview box. So, with that being said, let us go and have a chat with our said drivers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so in the booth with us here is our second and first place finishers here this evening so far, and we will start with last round's race winner, Lucas369, falling a little short here tonight in the race, but great strategy there played out by SV's Paymay here in the race, and although it was a great push in that final stint and a great charge there, just didn't quite have enough in the car here this week of racing. So congratulations on a very strong second place finish, pole position, and that fastest lap here in the race. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, no, like I said last week, I came in with one thing in mind, and that was a clean sweep of pole fastest lap and race win, and we'll at least tick 2 of the boxes, and I'll take second place. It is what it is. Unfortunately, had racked up a solid 6-7 seconds worth of track limit penalties. Uh, Overall, can't be too upset. Just got to take it for what it is. Points in the bag, and we move on to the next race, and we jump into a new car.
Absolutely. So that's the intrigue here in the prototype championship this season. You guys are not going to be in the same car all season. You're going to start to get comfortable with a specific car, and then we're going to toss different machinery at the drivers. So we are going to be jumping in that Toyota GR010 hypercar, ladies and gentlemen, for round number 4, and that's going to be a race at Fuji International Speedway all the way overseas in Japan. So with that being said, how do you now get your mind out of the Audi and start to wrap it around a fairly significantly different style of LMP1 car for round number 4?
I just got to put in the seat time at this point. It's not a bad car. It's just pretty difficult with the understeer. If you don't understand how to counteract the understeer with it, it's a little bit of a pig. But otherwise, it's not a bad car, not a bad track combination. So it'll be a fun race. Only thing, I mean, it's Fuji. It's a pretty big mountain there, and there's definitely more than likely going to be some rain, maybe more so than Nürburgring. So yeah, I just got to see how the week goes, and we'll see what happens race day.
Absolutely, and looking very, very quick in qualifying here today as well. And you did say in the interviews last week that Watkins is one of your better tracks, and you were definitely looking forward to being competitive here this week, and you most certainly were. But it was a pretty uneventful race for the most part for you, with the exception of those small little mistakes that each of the drivers make throughout their races that it cost little bits of time here and there. Uh, not a whole lot of battling happening for you there, with the exception of a couple pit stop sequences. So, I guess anything to add to your race here this evening, and any shout outs to the viewers watching at home?
No, just thank you first and foremost for what you're doing for us with the streams and the community. Everyone watching the stream, all the drivers. Again, without it, everyone here, we wouldn't be having these series or these leagues. And yeah, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we'll let you get back to that paddock and go pull out next week's car and start getting ready for Fuji. Congratulations on a great race. And again, adding some more points to that championship points lead you came in with here this evening. All right, I believe we have our third place finisher in here with us now as well. And we do. We have ERA's Ishmael here with us now, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy has been racing very strong at the beginning of this season. And he just fell short of the podium at Nürburgring GP last week, having to make an extra pit stop. Really had a great drive, had an incident on the racetrack that set him back, and just fell shy of that final step of the podium just behind TT's J set in round number 2. But boy, tonight, did he come with a plan? Did he come with a mission? And what an incredible battle for that final podium position between him and teammate JP in the final half a dozen laps of this race. But you held him off. Absolutely incredible fight. Congratulations on an absolutely great race here this evening. And you're finally on the podium here this season. So how does it feel? And talk us through how your race was for you this evening.
Hello, good evening, first of all. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me, by the way?
We sure can.
Okay then. So I had an okay qualify, but I decided to start with the mediums and stay away from the trouble. But there was very, let's say, chaotic battles at the beginning, so I decided to switch to let's say, an ambitious strategy to get the most out of the soft tires and get some clean air. It looked like it worked, but JP was on a mission today. I mean, he was very fast in the practices. He had a very fast qualifying lap, and I noticed that he was he was seeing red and he wanted that podium place. And also, knew he had better tires than me, so I try to stay on the apex, try to give him the decision to take the risk. If you want to kill us, okay, kill us. It's your call, etc. And he's a very dear friend of mine. I mean, we are practically neighbors. He's living 20 minutes from where I live. And it was a wonderful battle, maybe my top 5 most fun finishing races of all time. So yeah, I had a blast. I needed to calm myself down a bit. Apologize to my wife for all the noises, all the screaming. And yes, yeah, as you said, finally a podium, and I want to thank you, all the organizers, you guys, for organizing this series. It's been a pleasure so far, and yeah, that's it, I think.
Absolutely, and I mean, obviously, hearts are pumping, and the adrenaline is flowing here right now for our third place driver and our fourth place driver. Very notable mention to JP here tonight from Race Asylum as well. These two are teammates, ladies and gentlemen, and there was no love lost between the two of them in that battle tonight. That's for sure. But now we put this audio away, and we're going to bring the same question back to you that we brought to Lucas369. That leads us into that Toyota GR010 hypercar. How do you feel about that car, and what's your plan moving into Fuji's race next week?
I mean, it's a tricky car. The turbo and the hybrid power kicks in very rapidly, and I don't know, maybe it has more torque at the rear wheel, so it will be definitely handful. But the hybrid system can withstand a bit more. So how can I say, the battery management will be somewhat easier. But yeah, that's a very tricky car, and there is the rain possibility always in the Fuji. So it will take lots of practice, lots of, let's say, weather management. We need to listen to weather guy very carefully, check the radar with one eye, check our rivals, competitors with one eye, and if we have another set of eye, then check the gaps, etc. So it will be a tough race, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've been seeing some great drives out of here. Of course, getting the Driver of the Day award for round number 2 as well, and a great podium finish here for you this evening. So, I guess any final remarks on your race here this evening, and any final shout outs to the viewers watching at home?
I mean, first of all, I would like to thank again for you guys, for the organizers. I mean, those who are viewing and watching the stream may not know that, but you guys are doing this for free. You are spending your, let's say, free time, well-earned free time, to provide this series for us, for the viewers. You try to manage your real life situation, your kids, your family, etc. And that's a lot of commitment. I mean, I know some people are, let's say, thanking you for that, but it should be more announced, more cherished. And yes, again, I would like to thank you guys for, let's say, making this happen. Also, again, JP, he did a tremendous job, and he is racing with the, let's say, VR, so he has limited visibility, and he was, let's say, on a mission. I asked him after the race, "What did you eat today at the breakfast?" So shout out to JP. I mean, he's by far the driver of the day. I mean, of course, it's my opinion, but yeah, I mean, and also the P1 and P2, they are in a different league. They flew away. It was a, let's say, enjoyable Monday drive for them. Hopefully, we will try to, let's say, provide a somewhat challenge for them in the next series.
Absolutely. Well, you're definitely looking great out there so far this season, and we look forward to seeing what you have for us next week in round 4. So, congratulations, and we'll let you get back to that clubhouse
Thank you, sir.
and go celebrate.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Take care.
Cheers. Appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last but most certainly not least, that leaves us with our race winner, SV Payme. That is now his second win here this season in the GT45 Prototype Challenge. He came in with a good, strong round 1 win. He had a little bit of complications in round 2, and boy did he come back strong here in round number 3 at Watkins Glen with a dominating performance, great pit strategy, and just a great run. So for the most part, pretty uneventful race for you. You had a little bit of battle or action, so to speak, during the pit stop sequences, but for the most part, really, you were just trying to control that gap at the early parts of the stint, continue to grow that gap so you had what you needed when you hit those medium tires, and job done. So congratulations on reaching the top of the podium here for the second time this season. Talk us through your race night.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. You pretty much nailed it there. I accidentally started on the softs. That was not my plan to begin with, but it kind of turned into a good thing, I would assume. I was able, luckily, Lucas drove nice and safe on lap 1, and I was able to sneak through the horseshoe there. Sorry. And I was able to sneak through there, yeah. And mostly just tried to get away on that first set of softs, and I mean, that kind of opened the door for me to see what I was able to do on them with less fuel. So, I mean, going into the rest of the season, I mean, it might not be a bad idea just to run the softs and stay away from traffic as much as possible. But I know that Lucas is always going to have a bomb plan up his sleeve. So, I mean, it's just going to come down to, just like Lucas said, seat time. I mean, I'm going to really need some seat time if I'm going to end up beating him the rest of the season. I was lucky that he was able to pick up a few penalties throughout the last bit of the race there, but I think it would have been really close finish, honestly, between me and him had that not happened. But yeah, pretty much overall good race. Happy with the result for sure, and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely, and there was just one moment there on the race where you really had to deal with any kind of traffic, and it was one of the drivers just coming out of a final pit stop there, and was just kind of getting up to race speed and race temperature there, and we seen a little flick of the headlights there, and that was at the point there where Lucas was kind of tearing into that gap that you had worked so hard to build at the beginning part of the race. So at that point, it was around a 7 or 6 second gap. So was that just kind of a friendly warning to let the driver know around the corner that, hey, I'm coming, please make sure you're not in a bad spot for me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know how it is out here. So you got to be able to communicate on the track, even though, I mean, some of us are in a party together, but the ones that are not, I mean, real life, you're not in a party together. So you gotta learn how to communicate on track without speaking. So it's a big part of racing, especially when you're driving such a fast car and you've got such little time to react. So.
Absolutely, and I guess the one question that we really haven't touched base on here yet with the drivers, I'm sure that the viewers at home are wondering as well. The race started right around the dinner time, just after dinner time mark, and of course, as you guys continued on towards the end of the race, it started to get quite dark out on the tracks. So it is very dark racetracks, not very well lit, except for the start-finish line where the grandstand area is. How was it navigating the last 10 minutes of the race as the track was getting very dark and you were running under that headlight power in these LMP1 cars?
Yeah, it definitely got darker, but it was a little bit more difficult. Maybe I could have turned up my brightness on my screen a little bit during a pit stop, but the one thing I noticed the most was the track temperature and how much it dropped, and how much more I was able to push the tires and get away with over that amount of time. So going forward, I'm definitely going to look deeper into the race settings and see how the evening sets, because I do believe that has a huge part in how your whole race strategy and everything goes.
And it does kind of seem to be that GT7 and Polyphony Digital is kind of slowly but surely kind of developing long distance racing into that kind of ordeal, especially with the dynamic weather, with tire temperatures starting to play a factor, and all these small little factors that a lot of racers are probably not even thinking of or aware of ultimately do. And potentially could, maybe extend a soft tire stint at a certain part of the race for a lap or two just due to the track temperature or something like that. So definitely good valid points. But now you guys have just gotten comfortable with these Audi R18s. We're going to head into that 2021 Toyota hypercar. How do you feel about the car, and how do you feel about Fuji Racetrack there in Japan for next week's racing round?
I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna be able to get as much seat time as they just released TGR on Top of Nations. Just really gonna have to play it by ear. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with the car running it in TGR last year, and just being comfortable in high downforce cars overall. I'm able to find more speed, I feel, than I am in GT3 and GT4. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take it day by day and see what we can do, see what we can put together.
Absolutely, and well spoken, like a well experienced racer. You know, big goals and lots of ambitions and hopes for the end of the season, but a realist at the same time, and knows that you can only take it one day at a time, 1 mile at a time on the racetrack. So, with that being said, I guess any final remarks on your racing week here this week, and shout outs to the viewers watching at home.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody watching. Thank you for putting this on, as always, and commentating. It's always great to watch it back, and I know a lot of others go back and watch it back as well. They're actually able to learn something that they might not have if they hadn't. So it's always a good thing to have, and going forward. But yeah, just thank you, and shout out to the SB team, and excited to see what happens the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Well, definitely a great comeback drive here in round 3, and congratulations for the top of the podium for the second time this season. We'll let you get back to that SV clubhouse to go celebrate with that great team behind the scenes.
Right on. Thank you, boss.
Cheers, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 great interviews as always from our interviewees. 3rd place, ERA's Ishmael Truth. 2nd place, Lucas369, and 1st place is SV Payme. 2 race wins this season for SV's Payme, definitely looking to put his stamp here on this pro division. But we cannot take away that amazing mid-pack battle all race long. Huge congratulations to Badass, Larry Birch, Miss Devious, J-Set, Nolander, and ATK's Death at ATB. That was a massive fight all race long and was nothing but non-stop, start to finish, door-to-door action from this racing pack. And that battle from JP on Ishmael at the end of the race for 3rd place. Huge shout out to JP. Definitely in the conversation for that Driver of the Day award here this week in round number 3. And we'll have to wait and see what the great stuff behind the scenes does for our Driver of the Day this week. But what a great race here from the Pro Division. Lots to go through, lots to look at. And I think we're going to have a big highlight reel next week from the Pro Division chat. So we appreciate y'all. On behalf of 10 Tenths Simracing and GT45 Gaming, we'd love to thank everybody for coming in tonight. Please don't forget to like and share the stream out if you haven't done so already. It is free to do. Just helps us grow. And if you love the content, you love the LMP1 cars, you love the racing and what's going on here on screen in your homes or in your workplaces or wherever it is you watch your favorite streamers from, hit that subscribe or follow button, hit the little bell, turn on those live notifications, and you shouldn't miss another moment of the great racing action that comes from GT45 Gaming and the respective leagues that we commentate with as well. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for being here tonight. What a doozy of a race. Start to finish, top to bottom, A++ racing coming from our pro division. This is why we send them out on Monday night, because if you had a bad work week, start to your work week, there is no way that you are not smiling about the amazing, great tire-to-tire, door-to-door paint rubbing action right here on GT45 Gaming. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Remember, y'all matter. Stay winning. And we'll catch you tomorrow night for our Pro-Am split right here at Watkins Glen International, right here on GT45 Gaming, presented by 10 Tenths Simracing. And on the way out, enjoy the tunes. We love y'all.
Inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, no, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are. I'm cranking up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable.